Hey everyone, I am Kay, the healer's daughter, and today I'm coming to you with the healing energy reading for April 2026. I realize I'm a little late, but I needed to show up for myself before I could show up for this reading. And that is exactly what I do. I show up for people who are recovering from trauma. I assist them in guiding them back to the pieces of themselves that they feel they lost. And that is accomplished by getting down to the root of the trauma and recognizing where repetitive patterns are that are allowing these, what I call unwanted wants, in your space. So that is exactly what I have been doing for myself, because I found that there were things that I was allowing in that I generally wouldn't. So I had to focus on what those were and the triggers and getting down to the root of all that fun stuff. So thank you in advance for your patience. And my intention for this reading is to see what healing energies are coming forward for the month of April 2026, how to best navigate them, and how to best move forward while navigating them. And at the end, I'll be tuning in on the divide that I'm channeling, and to provide a little bit of info about that. When 3i Atlas had passed through last year, I had channeled that I had been working with them for a little while. I just didn't realize that it was them that I was working with. But they have been guiding me through a divide of the ill-intended and the good-intended that's happening on this planet, and how to best navigate it. Because when working through trauma, so often it's easy to cater to things and to fall into old habits, old patterns, because even though it's not comfortable, it's a familiar space and you can do it. So when navigating such a open, how do I want to say this, such a clear, I don't know how to, I see it in my mind, so putting it in words can be challenging sometimes. But what I'm seeing is like just a total transparent window, and seeing everybody's soul rather than their human form or heat pattern or energy pattern. It's like you're seeing who they are for what they are and why they are. And I'm going to circle back around. When you're recovering from trauma, sometimes that's terrifying. When you see people's ill intent, because after living in that for so long and then trying to heal yourself to get out of it, it can, I'm going to say, initiate fear. And it just has a ripple effect. Even if you're good, seeing that initial fear can trigger you in ways that you didn't thought or prepare yourself for. So that is what I'm channeling on how to navigate. So I have already created the space, but for everybody to join, I will set the space one more time. And I start everything off with thanks. So thank you for the collective showing up to listen. Thank you for taking the time to yourself. Thank you for creating a space to be open to hear what's happening and different ways to navigate things. So yes, thank you. And thank you to myself for showing up. And I call forward my higher self, my angels and guides, 3i Atlas, my legends and legacies, my ancestors, and other beings with me on this journey. I call you forward to assist me in being a clear channel to provide this information on how to best navigate the divide and how to best navigate the healing energies coming forward and moving forward while navigating them. And I always state that because sometimes it's not the same. Just because you're navigating something doesn't mean you're moving forward. So oftentimes we need to be able to do those simultaneously. So yeah, just wanted to make that clear. All right, so for the month of April, let me find my notes. Okay. Okay, so I stated this in the seasonal reading that I did. I think I got that one up a couple, maybe last week. It was late as well. But what was coming forward very strongly was order. And I'm going to read what I had wrote in meditation. Get your affairs in order. And at the time, I thought it felt like a very specific message, so I noted that. And then I heard, if you don't get your affairs in order, you will be forced to. And my initial thought to that was, well, I feel we've kind of been in that energy since last year. But what I heard was it's going to apply more so this month and moving forward than it has before. And then I wrote, if you want to be successful, it needs to be accomplished through grit. Take that as it resonates. If you lean into habits, be prepared for them to be disrupted. And then I noted, it will be difficult for everyone. I see a lot of upheaval, but I see a lot of calmness amongst the storm because efforts to prep and plan for yourself were put in. Okay. So, first question. What does this have to do with the healing aspects? And again, I want to say this was already dove into for the seasonal reading, but I'm going to focus more on how we need to, I guess, what's coming forward specifically this month. There's a blue heron landing in my front yard right now. Take that as it resonates. Wow. Okay. So order. Getting your affairs in order. Leaning into habits. Oh, okay. And I've already tuned into this season, focusing it on this month. Okay, so I'm asking specifically for this month. Why is order coming up for a healing aspect? Okay, that's right. Okay, so they're saying it's because of your self-worth. So often we are abiding by other people's schedules, especially if you don't work for yourself. There's always somebody else's schedule that you have to abide by. So when you get into that pattern, your self-worth, these are the words that are coming forward, so please take them as they resonate. It's like your self-worth is being manipulated because your efforts are going in and it's because things are getting completed because of your efforts. However, these efforts were not requested by you. They were requested by someone else. So it's like your worthiness is now in service of someone else rather than in service of yourself. So I'm hearing that in order for balance to be achieved, order to be yourself needs to be established. Time to be yourself. You need to make time to be yourself. And I'm sorry, this is hitting for me as well. You need to plan in time to be silly. because with everything happening in this world and the amount of to-dos that anyone has, the first thing to fall off is so often self-care. And being silly is self-care. Recognizing your joy and what you can bring to any situation that emanates love and sustainability and joy, that needs time. It doesn't happen just by byproduct per se. It actually needs time. Sorry. 1 minute. Sorry about that. Okay, so you need to make time to allow things to happen. Not everything is going to work out like you hoped it would, and that in itself can bring you down. So you need to make sure that you're creating time and space for yourself and just allow things to happen when it's not happening as you planned, which is the very thing that we're focusing on to do. So being okay with things not being okay. And I say that with truly being okay, not telling yourself it'll be okay, this too shall pass, all good affirmations, but actually feeling it, embodying it. It will be okay. There are no worries needed for this situation. And move forward. Okay, so they're asking me to focus on the healing aspects of the leaning into habits. Be prepared for them to be disrupted. So what I'm seeing is, because I just said this, so I'm asking, why do I need to repeat it? And I'm hearing because people need to be okay. People need to be okay with not being okay, and that's okay. And that doesn't mean it's okay to get frustrated all the time and then get over it, which it is. That is okay. But being okay with things not being okay is truly not feeling those ooey things in your stomach, not feeling those not feeling helpless. And I want to specify those ooey feelings in your stomach, those in relation to helplessness, because those are good to listen to. But in relation to helplessness, 1 minute. Okay, yes, don't allow yourself to feel helpless when things are disrupted. And when you're having to pivot and you're feeling triggered, this has a level of awareness that's needed, but be aware that you're being triggered, or just be aware that this energy, just the energy you're in, is pivoting in such a way that it's like, this is a familiar energy that wasn't enjoyable the last time. So just ask yourself, why wasn't it? and go from there. What's needed from there? Is a conversation needed from there? Do you need more you time? Do you need to go for a walk? Do you need to take care of yourself in a different way? So does your self-care plan need to be altered? All of this is being mentioned because this is what your foundation is built on. And the new, I guess, constant that's going to be needed in everybody's foundation is the ability to pivot. Because habits are going to be disrupted. Serving habits, I'm hearing, are going to be disrupted. And when I say serving habits, that is your self-care routine. Healthy meals you like to eat, how you take care of your land, like things that make you happy. I feel those are going to be disrupted. And so I'm sorry. They're going in and out. They're saying no, I'm going in and out. Oh, right. Okay. So don't allow the break in the pivot to break you. Just allow yourself to literally pivot and keep doing what you're doing, but just going in a different direction. Okay, and now that's all that needs to be said for that. So, and the complete upheaval, that was also, I thought, very specific and severe. The complete upheaval, okay, that I did see globally, but with everything happening in the world, it's kind of like, well, duh, that's happening globally. But I didn't see like countries, and like I didn't see divided peoples amongst this upheaval. I saw humans. So I feel that there is something happening within us that is disrupting our calmness. And the reason that there is a calm amongst the storm is because we are capable of choosing to be calm amongst the storm. So I'm feeling that the collective listening, and I feel like even though I'm doing this for April 2026, if you're listening to this and this is resonating, please take it as it resonates. Because I feel that with how this earth itself is evolving, we are, by proxy, if you want to view it that way, evolving with it. And because of that joint evolution, the calm amongst the storm can be established within yourself. And I'm also saying when you are calm amongst the storm, you can still plan. You can still function. You can still do you because you are calm amongst the storm. So when other people are being held back because they're being responsive, reactive, that's got to be done, that's got to be done, you're sticking to your plan. Nothing has to be done at a certain time because you planned it out. So I just gave those as like two examples of the extremes of how a situation could play out if you don't plan versus if you do plan. And I feel that, because planning to me is, I equate planning with healing, but I keep asking, like, why is it planning that's being really focused on? They're mentioning again because of the worthiness, and yes, that does make sense. But I just feel there's more to it. Oh, okay. Um, because societies are going to be changing. And if you look at ancient times, I'm going to reference the pyramids. They are still standing. So, um, knowing absolutely nothing, the architect, the builders, they they knew what they were doing. You know, they had it down. They had a plan. They had a really good plan because they're still there. So it's like I feel that's why this is being brought forward so much with healing, is because you can't heal in responsiveness. You can only be, or let me, no, I didn't phrase that right. You can't heal in reactiveness. It is hard to heal in constant responsiveness too. Um, so it's truly up to you to create a space for you to continue to be a healed individual and come forward centered and balanced in your harmony. Um, and again, I'm hearing that can't be done without a plan, because with everything happening in this world right now, everything is responsive. So, um, having a plan to be able to navigate and move forward in that responsiveness energy is um, is something that's going to need, it's going to be a requirement for those who are truly putting efforts into themselves and wanting to move forward in this world in a wholehearted way, a truly wholehearted way. Um, I'm being asked to mention fear, because that is something that had come forward for the seasonal reading. And I felt like it was applying to this entire season. And again, this was in the reading before, and I'm going to read these again. But what I wrote down when I was in meditation was analyze all where we have to fear. Oh, analyze all. Okay, that's what I wrote. Analyze the saying, all we have to fear is fear itself. And what is fear? Where does it come from? What does it serve? Okay. And what was channeled is when you do things out of fear, when you don't. Okay. Hold on. Do things you don't want out of fear stops you from allowing failure, which is the lesson that you need to learn from the fear. So I feel my takeaway from that is different than the reading before. My takeaway this time for this month is, because we just talked about order. So part at the very beginning, we discussed on how important it is to have order in place, because when you're recovering from trauma, it's easy to fall into patterns of people pleasing, and that takes away from your time and your plans. So when you're doing somebody else's plan, that is not giving you the space to do your plan that may not have worked out that great, that you needed to learn a lesson from. So take that as it resonates. Oh, right. Okay, so something else that was in the last season we're reading that does pertain still is sitting with your fears within your careers, sitting with your fears within relationships, and sitting with your fears of, yes, accomplishments. And why? Because the fears that you have revolving around these are going to be preventatives from moving forward. Because okay, I feel this is going to be a full circle, so stick with me. So if you have a fear about something at your work, and at home everything's salad, and then you also have a fear of, let's just say, success, that is a very rough balance. Just because there is a comfort in one space doesn't mean that comfort is providing ease elsewhere. It provides ease to navigate the things elsewhere. So what I'm seeing is to sit with what these fears are, and I'm going to give a disclaimer if you can, because calling these things forward can be very uncomfortable and sometimes cause more issues if you're not prepared to sit with these. So I do want to say, give yourself compassion. Don't push yourself to do anything that you're not comfortable with. But do be aware of what you're bringing forward is making you feel like that. And move forward with the other issues that could be needing your attention. And I'm saying this just because making space for these things, it is not as easy as any book or person will tell you that it is. Because truly making space for your traumas, it requires compassion, and it requires a space of wanting to create space for it. So if you're not ready, don't push yourself. And if you are open to bringing things forward that generally would be uncomfortable, again, proceed with caution. And I do want to say, I'll address it at the end, but I am here to assist with that. So you could always schedule something with me as well. Or, I know people will be away about this, but find someone you're comfortable with. Find a therapist, find a friend, find a serving activity or something that helps you navigate these kind of things. So anyways, not anyways, but I'll move forward with this. So the reason it's being mentioned to bring all of these things up is because there's the fear that is healthy to experience is fear that you don't know. Let me rephrase that. The unknown is fearful, and um, the only unknowns that you don't know are the unknowns you don't know. So no one can know everything. And when you show up as your true, authentic self, you are showing up as your true, authentic self at your job or jobs. You are showing up as your true, authentic self at home. You're showing up as your true, authentic self amongst your friends, family. You're showing up as your true, authentic self amongst yourself. So I'm stating all of that because if you have a fear of something, that fear is starting within you. And that should not be categorized. If there's something happening only at work, it's not happening only at work. It's happening in all of the other areas because you're allowing it to happen at work. And that applies if you're allowing it to happen at home, it's happening at work and all these other places. And I'm stating this because we are going to be experiencing fear differently. Because when you're coming forward as your true authentic self, you're finding that perceptions others have of you, if they're not accurate, they're not yours to receive. I'm asking if there's any other way that I can say that to break it down that would make sense if it needs to be. They're saying no, to leave it at that, and if they need to hear it again, rewind. All right. I have one more little note, I think. Oh, the note that I was wanting to read, it says when, and the answer was gradual. Because my question was, when is this going to start to take place? When are we going to experience fear differently? What a weird question to ask. But yes, it said it's going to be gradual, but it's starting. It's already started, but really going into play is happening this month. I'm asking if there's anything else. Yes, additional notes for the fear. Listen to your body. Because I had said before, like listening to the gooeys in your stomach versus gooeys in your stomach in this situation. Your body knows, it knows. So if you're feeling gooeys and you're seeing where you're at, who you're with, the time of day, just putting your two and twos together. Your body knows. So pay attention to what your body is telling you in those situations. Okay. I'm hearing that that is all that we are going to be bringing forward for that. But for the divide that's happening amongst the ill-intended and the good-intended. Okay. All right, so I'm talking to the angel from 3-Eye Atlas, and he's saying, Definitely apply everything that was channeled, because 90% of it was information from them. Not because, but sorry, that wasn't the best word to use. Um, but that was what he had to share. And he's saying to not be afraid to see things in black and white, because the gray, the middle, is your knowledge and your experience. So, and I'm asking, why is he saying don't be afraid? And he's saying because some people are teased or made fun of for seeing things from multiple perspectives. So, and even these multiple perspectives are, it's like I'm hearing stories or possibilities, and those are affected by the ill-intended energies coming forward. And I did feel like I kind of went in and out with that last channeled message, so I'm trying to focus on that to make sure the right things came out. Okay, so I'm just gonna state again, it's a very, what I'm seeing, I'm just gonna say again what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a very clear panel, and it's like that clear panel removes all of the stories that have painted inaccurate pictures, and it's like this screen lets you see the truths for what they really are. And okay, and when you call out those truths, that's where the ill-intended is reactive, and can cause you to feel away and all of a sudden be silenced and not want to speak. So that is being stated because that is your body's response to a situation. And much like Kay said, these are things that you need to pay attention and you need to listen to, because since fear is coming forward differently, everything's coming forward differently, as well as your communication with your body, with your mind, and with your heart. So he's saying don't be afraid, because it's almost like I feel there's such an entirely large group of people that's been too scared to do this type of thing, and now it's like they finally are finding the safe space within themselves to stand on their ground and speak. And I also want to say that after this action is taken, like the sweats that you're feeling, those sweats are on an energetic level. They are all of the energies that are being sent to you, the ill-intended energies, that is them being released from your body. So when it comes to this point, when you're finally like, yes, I am going to say what I have to say, just be aware that I don't want to say it's normal in that situation, but it's not uncommon. So don't be too weirded out by it. Just roll with it, and move forward. Don't be afraid. I keep on hearing, don't be afraid, 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 don't be afraid. So don't be afraid to say what you see, even if what you see isn't a true visual. If you see something and you know it, and don't be afraid to speak on it. Just know the ground you stand on, know your foundation. I'm seeing him jumping very hard, trying to break a rock, and it won't break. And I'm hearing that's all that needs to be shared for that. So with all of that being said, I feel that is the conclusion of this reading for April 2026. So I'm going to go ahead and do some light language, and I'm going to move around my area because I have a dog that I can't nudge behind me, and I don't want to hit things. So, all right. Still isn't great, but we can roll with it. Okay. All right. So, after I do every reading, I do some light language because often when you hear things and you have aha moments or you'll have an emotional release, gaps are created within you, within your energy field. And oftentimes, ill-intended energy can find its way in through those gaps. So my intention with this light language is to fill in those gaps with love, light, and Christ consciousness. So that is what is growing within these new revelations, and it's blocking that other energy from finding its way in. So Hoyana yata ya kasinaka taya o yamanarita tia poyana kategina kapoina lata sina kiripana ayata sina pona poyata kipayana lata ayasa depona ayati kapayana atayata kapoyana Ohoyana kaleta sina kaposhana depana ataya katapana ita poyana kaledepana atayata kasina pana ayata kinina pona ayata kasata poyana ila depana ayata. Ohoina kirina pana ayata karita kosina pana ayata katapoina atashika poina pona ayata ayasa pona ataya poina. Ohoina karipona ataya katasati pona apoina nirpana ataya poina ki tayata katayanta poyata satapayana ayata poya. Ohoina kina pana ataya sina tiro po poina kirapataya tasana pona oyata tika poina. Ohina kaleda te sita portion na tika ita sina pona oya tisa nika pona oya tasana tia. Okay, so that is it. The true conclusion for this reading. So I will go ahead and go out. I will close out the space. Thank you for the collective showing up to listen. Thank you for creating a space to do what I love to do. Thank you to myself for showing up and continuing to do what I love to do. And thank you to my higher self, my angels and guides, my legends and legacies, my ancestors, other beings with me on this journey in 3 Ayavas. Thank you for coming forward and assisting myself in being a clear channel to provide these healing messages. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, everyone, may all of the energies, blessings, and gratitudes that I have received be sent back to you in tenfold. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if bringing any of these things forward is something that you're struggling with, book a free discovery call with me. It is a 30-minute call. It is free. and it is a safe space to bring forward the traumas you intend to heal. And I will share more in depth on how the healer's daughter can assist in doing that. So, till next time, everyone, heal yourself to free yourself.